eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells. Thank you for coming back for another video. And as promised, this is a sales update video from February of 2018 where I'm going to show you some of my sales and what items sold for. I think it's really important if you do haul videos to do the follow-up because it's not just buying the item or showing you what sells, it's showing you the proof that these things do sell. And I think that's a really important part of this. So let's get started. This is a Botanic Garden Port Marion bowl. I got this for $7 about a year ago at a thrift store, and I've had it up for sale the whole time. I got some low offers, but I did the research. I knew what it could sell for, so I hung in there with it. And it did sell for $59.02 full price, and my profit was $43.16 on this one item. And so those of you that have asked about my pricing, why it ends in 01, 02, whatever, I put the month there in the where the cents is. That's just the way I'm tracking things. So every time I relist it or go in and change something or update it in any way, I put the month that I did that in the price so that just for my own record keeping, that's just something I like to do. So next item is a vintage formal dress. This was a very cool looking Art Deco type dress that I actually sold for the church ministry that I work with. I have a playlist on that. I'll put the link at the top if you want to go see what that is. But basically, it's a job networking ministry that it's the largest one in the Southeast. It's through my church, Roswell United Methodist Church, and they have a job networking seminar, I guess you could call it. It's an all-day long program where you can take classes, and it's helped thousands of people find jobs. And this ministry has been around for about 15 years. So what I do is I help them by selling things that are donated. They have a what's called a tire to hire clothing closet, and they get all kind of clothing donations. A lot of them are not suitable for interviewing. And that's the purpose of the attire to hire, is to give job seekers a way to get professional clothing to go on job interviews with, or whatever is appropriate for their industry. So like this would not be appropriate for that. So long story short, I put this up for sale for $150. I had seen some of them as high as $300 for this brand and vintage year. But I did get an offer of $115, so the church gets 100% of the profit after the fees are paid. So that was $97.75, and this was shipped to Finland. So this was a very unique looking item. I knew I could get at least $100 for it just because it's so interesting and unique and retro and vintage. So that was just a cool and fun item to sell. Okay, this one was in my haul video back on January 17th. I've got the link to that above if you haven't seen it. But the brand is Altered State, and I estimated the sale price at $69. That is exactly what it sold for full price. So my profit was $51.26. I actually got an email from the lady who wanted to buy it on like a Tuesday. She said, if I buy this today, do you think I could have it by Friday? I'm in Georgia, she's in Florida. I said, I don't see why not. I can ship it out as soon as you pay. I did make a special trip to the post office to get that in the mail for her before 6 p.m. that evening, and she got it, and she was totally happy with it. So that's why I like eBay, is you can sell things that make people happy, and I like to do that. Here is another sort of vintage dress. It's Gunny Sacks. This is a taffeta dress that I put sequin strapless cocktail party and prom because it could be used for any of those things. It was $3.50 at Goodwill in January. It sold on February 14th. and for $39.01, the full price I had it listed for. So my profit on that one item was $29.65. This is a Philosophy brand dress. It was 100% silk, little black dress, cocktail dress, and I had put 94 on it, just went in high on that. I had it for a couple of months and got a best offer of $45, which I accepted. However, the buyer never paid. And I'm putting this in my sales update video to show you that this happens to me just like it happens to you and it happens to everybody else. Sometimes you take offers and people don't pay, and that's life on eBay. So if they don't pay, you just put it right back up for sale and move on. Don't get bogged down in the whole emotion of taking it personally and why didn't they pay me and why did they make an offer and not pay for it. And hey, things happen. People change their minds. Nothing you can do about it. Only thing you can control is what you do, not what other people do. So I can control that I can list it again, and so I did. So that is, the brand is called Philosophy. This is the other Chaleur coffee mug. I sold one of these in January, and so this was the other one. They're two different mugs, but by the same brand. And these are hand painted. They have a stained glass motif to them. I paid 99 cents for this back in January. It sold for $20. I took a best offer of $20, so my profit on this one item was $16.01. This is a Nicole Miller 100% cashmere sweater with a faux fur collar and rhinestones and crystals on the front. And I got this at for $6 at Goodwill about a year ago. It sold on best offer for $30, so my profit was $19.50. This is a pair of shoes also for the church job networking ministry. They were donated, and I go through the donate piles and pick out things that I think we can sell to raise money for them. So a lot of times we get shoes that are higher end or more expensive that would benefit the job networking more to sell them and give them the money rather than put them on someone's feet for a job interview, because we get so many shoes. And the money goes to things like printing their materials that they give out, paying for the dinner. They have a dinner they have the networking meeting every 2 weeks, but they have this dinner in the fellowship hall, and there's probably 300 to 400 people at that dinner. So it helps pay for the food. They have afternoon coffee and snacks available all day, because some people are there all day long, from 12 in the afternoon till 8 at night when it's over. So there's some expenses there, and this is a way I can help using my skills to help raise money for this ministry that I really feel strongly about. So anyway, these were free. I took a best offer of $40, and so the profit was $34. Now I did have them listed for $69. If I had purchased these to resell myself, I would have held out for a higher price. But since these were donated and the money is going to charity, I tend to take lower prices on some of these items to get them turned over so that I can send those checks over to the church. This one was in my video of July 17th. And yes, my cat is in the background protesting something. She's always protesting something. This was the Canon photo paper that I paid $2.50 for in January, and the sale price I took a $99 offer, and this sold in about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. Anyway, my profit on this one item was $81.65. So look at that junk in the back. You never know what's in there. New stuff, expensive stuff that looks boring is donated all the time. And there's the proof right there. Okay, next item is this Lane Bryant puffer vest. I have had this thing for 2 years. And I just wasn't going to give up. I knew somebody would come along and buy it. It was $2 2 years ago. It sold for $24.01. And that was full asking price, so my profit was $18.40. Now, a lot of you are going to ask, why are you holding on to these things for so long? Well, it was cheap. I have 2 stores. I get 250 free listings on both stores, so it doesn't cost me anything to leave it there. Um, I knew it would sell eventually, and sometimes things just take time. So you just have to be patient. You cannot do this on your timeline. You have to do it on the buyer's timeline. And sometimes it takes a while. And I've already done the work. I did retake the picture. You can see I've got my newer background there. Um, but, it's just a matter of you've already done the work. Why would you just throw up your hands and walk away from all that? Give it time, it'll happen. This is another one I've had for a while, for a year, and I took a best offer of no, it sold for $23.02 full price, and so my profit on this was $17.55. It's a 100% cashmere sweater, argyle. That's the reason I picked it up. I'm seeing a lot of cashmere out there these days, and I'm getting more and more picky about what I will buy. As you can see, this is not a huge sales update video. I don't have hundreds or thousands of items that sell every month. And that's by design. I don't want my business to be like that. I have run so many different businesses over the years, and I want a business that I can enjoy, that I love doing, and I just prefer to sell higher profit items and not as many of them because I just don't want to be a machine. I have my virtual assistant service where I have 6 assistants, and I love to manage that business, but I just don't want to scale the eBay part of it and have all these people working for me in a warehouse and, all the paperwork that's involved with having so many employees. And I don't want to do that. And I think some of you that are in my age group and older understand this because, we've done our time in corporate America and running businesses, and it gets to the point where you're so busy managing people that you don't get to do the part of the business that you love. And that's where I'm at right now. I want to do the part of this that I love, and that's finding interesting, fun, beautiful items that are higher profit. So I'm just not working like a robot or a machine all day. And that's totally fine. There's a lot of sellers out there that work on volume, that have thousands of items in their store. I don't want to do that. I don't want to store those items. I don't want to work with those items. I just want to do this at my pace and my way, and it brings in the money I need and I want. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So anyway, what I wanted to say, bottom line here, showing you this mix of items. Some items are going to sell quickly, which again reinforces get them listed. They may sell right away, like the photo paper sold in just a few weeks. The Altered States dress sold in just a couple of weeks. Others take time, and they can take who knows how long. I've had some items 2 years that have sold, or a year. So if you're building a business, the work you do today may not come to fruition for a while. So you've got to accept that this is not a fast thing. I see this all the time on both YouTube and Facebook that, I've got 10 items listed. I've had them listed for a week and nothing sold. What am I doing wrong? Well, nothing. You haven't been doing it long enough. This is not a fast thing. And if you can't accept and deal with delayed gratification, this business is not for you. And I'm sorry to say that. It's not for everybody. Some people just do better with an hourly job where they go, show up, do their work, and get a paycheck. This is not instant gratification. And that's what's wrong with a lot of people's attitude about eBay, is that just because you put it up for sale, you think it should sell right away. And it doesn't work like that. All of this takes time. So if you're in this for the quick buck, it's not going to happen. I'm just here to be realistic with you and tell you I've been in this business 15 years and things take time. So it's best to build this business while you're doing something else until you get it built up. Because don't take it personally that your items don't sell right away, but this is on the buyer's time. It's not on your time schedule. It's on theirs. So You've got to accept that this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. This business requires patience, persistence, commitment. That's another big one. You've got to be committed to doing it and say, I'm in this. It's a relationship. You have a relationship with eBay, and you've got to be committed to it. And consistency, meaning you're working on it every day or most days you're working on it. So I want to do a little comparison here. Building an eBay business is just like growing a garden. Okay. And how do I know this? Because back in the day, we lived out on a farm in Tennessee. We had 300 acres and we had all kinds of gardens. We grew all kinds of stuff. And so here we are when my kids were little, we grew pumpkins. So, that was a fun experience seeing how all that worked. We had a huge garden up by the house with everything you can imagine. Tomatoes, corn, green beans, peppers, squash, cucumbers, watermelon, cantaloupe, you name it, we tried to grow it. We grew herbs. We had apple trees. We had everything. And so part of my life was working in the garden, and you know it's a process. It's a process. So when things would everything would come in at once in the summer. You have those canning days where you are in the kitchen for 12 to 18 hours. Everything comes ripe at one time, and you've got to do something with it. So it was a great experience to learn all about gardening, and the kids got to learn about it and that kind of thing. So I'm showing you this because this is just like eBay. You can't see what's happening for a while when you are growing things. Like in these pictures, the first one here, there's a lot happening under the surface that you can't see. And that's what it's like starting an eBay business. You're learning how to do it. You're getting those items out there. You're building your inventory. You're learning about customer service. You're learning about shipping. You're learning about eBay rules and policies. You're learning about SEO. There's a lot going on that you can't see yet. And then things progress and you start to see results, and they get bigger and better and more fruitful, but it takes time. I would give it 6 months to a year to see any results. So if you're looking to, you haven't sold anything in a month, that's fine. That's normal. That's going to happen. But you have to nurture it every day for it to grow. You've got to keep the weeds out. You've got to water it. You've got to take care of it. You've got to keep adding to it. You've got to keep learning and revising things as you learn how to do things better. So you can't just throw this together and expect all this money to come in. It does not work like that. You have to work on it. So I just wanted to say that to give you a little comparison, that an encouragement, just keep listing and taking good care of your business, and you will see the results. It just takes time. If you feel like you've been at this for at least 90 days and something's not going right, let's set up a phone call, a consultation, get a store critique done. Maybe there's something you can do better. But just because you list something that doesn't sell in a week, that doesn't mean anything. In fact, that normally doesn't happen. You just have to keep working on it. So I hope this has helped you in some way, at least if anything, to encourage you to be patient and persistent and committed and keep working on it. It will come. So thanks for watching, and have a profitable and productive day on eBay. Bye.